is a dream? What is reality? Dreams are real. We, as incredibly powerful beings that create reality, this is just another dream. I need to wake up more. I need to wake up more. I need to wake up more. I've been in these higher planes, these dream worlds.
You know what else I'd do? I'd learn how to make films before joining a film company and try to work for them.
Do you not know how to make films?
I've never made a film.
Hey guys, how's it going? I hope you enjoyed that. I'll just warn you that it's 1:55 AM. We haven't actually quite finished the film, or Ollie hasn't. I've been working since 8, so we're just going to pretend like if we don't make sense, then I think that's why.
Yeah, if we don't make sense, send us a tweet saying you guys didn't make sense and we'll clear it up for you.
And we'll tell you that there are more important things in the world to think about.
Like each other.
That film was actually made by me. That was made by Ollie here.
Yeah, so Rupert let me out of the cage for once. The other day I proposed a few different film ideas for him. I had a few in the works. There was one night I couldn't sleep very well and I spent the next 3 hours just sitting there storyboarding, planning out all these films, and I proposed these ideas to Rupert, and one of them he liked so much, he was like, tell you what, do you want to go make it this weekend? And I said yes.
There you go.
So, that was, in a very basic sense, a man curious about dreams and how dreams are reality or are dreams not reality.
It's like you can say that you live in a reality. It's like quite a philosophical thing, but this kind of comes back to like the concept of like living in the Matrix or living in like a computer simulation or whatever, and that actually dreams are reality, and that everything beyond that is unreality because we've identified what we've decided is reality and what isn't. But that simply seems to be because it's the reality we live in predominantly. If we spent 23 hours sleeping and 1 hour awake, you would probably think that 1 hour of being awake was reality.
So the idea initially began as a man trying to find creativity and in a greater sense himself out within nature.
And then why did the concept change?
So the concept actually changed because the cinematography I found didn't really reflect the initial concept very well.
Yeah. And we kind of ripped out we had some music in there that was kind of quite inspirational or whatever else. So we ripped that out and added something more experimental. And it just, as soon as you changed the audio, it just completely changed the kind of interpretation of the visuals.
Revolutionised the whole thing.
And what were the kind of challenges you faced with the film, and why did it change?
Going out in a field at 6 p.m. on an autumn evening, the light changes drastically. I initially went there, I was already sitting at about 800 ISO on the camera, and things were really, really dark. And give it half an hour, suddenly everything's pitch black at 40,000 ISO. So I actually ended up coming back the next day to do additional filming. The visual effects were varied beyond belief. We used different blending modes, we used different filters in a sense. We used GoPro. Were they GoPro filters?
So there's a preset in Premiere Pro that you apply that is there to unstretch and undistort GoPro footage. So obviously GoPro is very fisheye, and so it's very kind of like molded like this. And so the software will automatically apply like a crop and shift the footage to offset it so it looks like it's shot on a normal camera. So we actually applied this and inverted the effect to make it fisheye, to make it stretch the edges a little bit blurry and then kind of like center sharp in the middle. And we kind of did that to make it kind of feel a little bit more kind of surreal, make it feel a little bit more like, you know, whoever was in the dream was maybe experienced a little bit of adrenaline was kind of kicking in, so their sight was streamlining. And again, just adding this kind of slow build up with visual effects really helped with the pacing, I thought.
We actually had the music run over the final montage as well, but very late on into the production of it, we thought, actually, if we just cut the audio completely and have this, it's like this warping, low pass, bubbling noise, it really leaves it up to the imagination of the viewer to think, God, what's going on, what's happening, is he waking up, is things going backwards, is he entering a nightmare, is the dream changing? It gives a real ambivalent feel to the end of it. Meet and greets. That felt vile. A lot of filming we do is often on the Lumix GH4, but for this shoot I actually took our Sony A7S Mark II out.
Well, I think it's interesting. I think that the Sony A7S isn't that far off the Lumix GH4. It's like there are definitely some improvements with the Sony. So if you've got the GH4 and like you've already got a 4K DSLR and it's the GH4, you're fine. If you haven't got like a 4K DSLR and you're looking at upgrading, the Sony is really good. We also use it with the Metabones adapter.
Although we don't need that for the Lumix GH4.
No, we natively use a Panasonic lens.
So the film actually only took me to film 2 hours in total. There was 1 hour on like a Thursday night, and then there was 1 hour on a Friday morning. That was all it took. So a complaint I've actually had a few times from some of my previous footage is I have a bit of a habit of accidentally overexposing my footage. I'm fed up of it. I've had enough of overexposing all my damn footage, so it's easier to work with footage that's underexposed than it is overexposed.
So when the data is overexposed, you actually lose that data. So if you've got like a sky and it's so bright that the camera goes, right, this is white. This is all just white because of the brightness. And whereas if it's slightly underexposed and looks a little bit too dark, although it looks a bit dark, it's actually the data is still there in the sky and the details are still there. So it's much easier to brighten up footage slightly than bring it down slightly, because once it's pure white, it's pure white.
I remember when you weren't mean to me.
What was that?
Yeah, that's true.
I've got my yellow coat down there. There we go. I feel like a more credible artist already. So one of the reasons that I think that a lot of these films don't come out as well is because people don't follow the footage. So once you've shot the footage, there's not a crazy amount you can do. You can have music, you can have effects, you can have colour correction, of course there's a lot you can do. But actually it's still the footage that you shot.
Yeah.
So we always kind of will like make a plan for these films, shoot the footage, and then kind of reevaluate things and kind of have another think and like be like, does this footage match the concept? If it doesn't, can we make it match the concept? And if not, can we change and kind of shift the concept slightly to match it? Unless you're working to a very specific brief, which we have to do quite a lot when we're working with clients or with commercial companies, or you're kind of creating someone else's dream. But for us with YouTube, the whole point is to experiment, right? It's to kind of like try and push new ideas and for kind of us all to kind of pitch in and just, you know, a lot of filmmakers feel like they don't have a voice, and that's why a lot of people start making films, to communicate something, to share something. And when you start to make your living out of telling other people's stories and out of telling brand stories and individual stories and that sort of thing, it's very easy to lose your voice because you're being asked to give someone else a voice. So having this kind of like consistent content being released on the YouTube channel is kind of forces us to express ourselves on a weekly basis.
In my spare time, I actually do a lot of writing myself. And one thing I really struggle with sometimes is writer's block. I think every creative suffers a block of some sort at different points. And when I'm trying to write, often I just lose it completely. I'll lose the plot, I don't know what I'm doing, I'll give up on the whole project. And that's why initially I wanted to do a film on being able to go out and find inspiration and things. Get a friend involved. I actually had a friend of mine, Aaron, he does a lot of photography work with a bit of filming in the background. And he actually helped me, you know, just haul along a few tripods, change the ISO a couple times on a few of my shots, and, you know, angled them a few times for me. And I found that really useful, actually, just having someone there I can express my thoughts with and tell, you know, this is what I plan on doing now. Oh yeah, that sounds good to me. Or I'm gonna go help set up this tripod for you quickly now. And big thanks to Aaron for coming and helping me with the filming of this. Why did you throw those batteries everywhere? I literally hate you.
Anyway, so we'll wrap it up there. Sorry we've been particularly useless at expressing ourselves. We're both just really exhausted and delirious. I spent about 15 minutes kicking a book earlier.
Yeah, he did. If you have any questions or, anything pops into your mind that you want to ask us, catch us on any social media, Facebook, Twitter, just in the YouTube comments below.
Yeah, we answer all the comments. Expected pictures.